Welcome back, Star Travelers, to All Things Star Trek, your fast link to everything happening across the final frontier. In this episode, we have fan films racing against time, a real-world space camp honoring, of course, Nichelle Nichols, Comic-Con excitement, and even a 12-inch Gorn figure you can display on your shelf. 8 quick jumps, 1 smooth ride. So, settle in, set phasers to fun, and if you haven't already, tap that subscribe button so you never miss a stellar update. Ready? Let's engage. Okay, confession time. I missed the latest contest last year and I still feel like a disgraced red shirt. But not this year. Let's talk about Micro Trek Cinema and why it deserves more love than Paramount's 15-minute rule ever gave it. So here's the mission brief. Jonathan Lane at Film Factor, one of the longest-running Trek fan film hubs, has challenged fans again. Tell a full Star Trek story in about 90 seconds, up to 120 if you must, and upload it to YouTube before 23:59 Pacific Time on July 31st, 2025. So far, only 5 entries are in. The playlist is wide open until voting starts in early August. So, why it matters? Well, ever since CBS, or Paramount, limited fan films to 15 minutes in 2016, the community has had to be very creative. Lane's new challenge cuts that runtime by another 92%, showing you can still capture big ideas on a tiny budget. Last year's winner, Red Shirt Irregulars, was shot in a dorm hallway with a phone flashing light, and it still won nearly 250 votes. So, here are the rules quickly. Any film 2 minutes or less qualifies. Aim for 90 seconds. New shorts only, so no recycled clips. You can have up to 3 submissions per filmmaker. After uploading on YouTube, you should email or DM Lane for confirmation. You can find all of the details at fanfilmfactor.com. So grab your phone, queue up that simple delta icon, and send your photo and ideas. Before time runs out, this is what we need more of. I'll be voting, I'll be watching, and if need be, like I said, we'll review each and every one of these episodes. Big thumbs up to Fan Film Factor. Thank you, sir, for doing this. Now, from 90-second starships on YouTube, let's talk about young women reaching for real warp engines. The Nichelle Nichols Foundation just launched a weekend space camp that sounds like a dream come true for future cadets. And here's why it matters. Nichelle Nichols, our forever blazing Lieutenant Uhura, may be gone, but her message of inclusion lives on. The Nichelle Nichols Foundation and the U.S. Space and Rocket Center are running a weekend space camp for girls aged 14 to 18 from January 17th to January 19th, 2026 in Huntsville, Alabama. Campers will try astronaut drills like the multi-axis trainer and 1/6 gravity chairs. Plus, Star Trek-inspired challenges such as First Contact missions and IDIC workshop on leadership and diversity. Bonnie Gordon, voice of the Protostar's computer in Star Trek Prodigy, the best show ever, is the cadet coordinator, guiding campers through rocket builds, heat shield tests, and even a few Klingon jokes. Tuition is about $2,000, but scholarships are available. Registration is open now, so if a teen you know dreams of Starfleet, this could be their first real mission. And yes, according to People magazine, even Walter Cohen gave his project the Chekhov nod. It always amazes me that even today, there are a lot of people Star Trek still impacts. We're fast approaching the 60th anniversary of this little silly sci-fi show that almost didn't make syndication. Yet, the effects of that show are still rippling today. Even in a camp inspiring tomorrow's engineers. And it's a proof that Star Trek future is only limited by our own imagination. Now that we have all the things in the real world covered, let's switch to Fandom HQ. San Diego Comic-Con's Hall H is hosting a 90-minute Star Trek presentation. Details incoming. Paramount Plus has confirmed that Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con will host 90-minute Star Trek Universe presentation on Saturday, July 26th from 12:30 to 2 p.m. Pacific Time. The panel will be moderated by Robert Picardo. The session is divided in 2 equal halves, each devoted to a different series. The first segment will be, of course, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, with executive producers Akiva Goldsman, Henry Alonzo Myers, and Alex Kurtzman, who will join cast members Rebecca Romaine, Ethan Peck, Jess Bush, Christina Chong, and Paul Wesley, to premiere a highlights reel from Season 3, which starts streaming on July 17th. And also the concept art for Season 4, scheduled to begin filming in September. The second segment will be about Starfleet Academy. The series lead Holly Hunter will appear with cast members Sandra Rasta, Kareem Diane, Karis Brooks, George Hawkins, and Bella Shepard, alongside showrunners Alex Kurtzman and Noga Landu. The panel will present the first look production design stills and reveal one previously unannounced faculty casting. Paramount Plus will also operate the lodge at 345th Avenue from July 24th to July 28th. It's the badge-free space that features miniature sets from both series and some exclusive merchandise. Hall H seating is, as far as I know, first come, first served, so doors open at 10 a.m. and overflow lines typically form before sunrise. Comic-Con also posts some of the official videos within 24 hours for the remote viewers. I don't think they are posting the entire panels, but we'll see what we get. I guess I will be spoiled because, I'm not getting a show until August 4th. So thanks, Paramount. This was a brilliant idea. But we'll see. Maybe there are some news that are not going to totally spoil the show for me. I will be looking at Starfleet Academy, see what the news are, because I still am not quite sure what this concept for the show is all about. If it's, 90210 in space, not interested, but I am still open to be convinced otherwise. So I'll check this one out and see how it goes. You know what? Convention panels are great, but maybe you'd rather bring Trek home. EXO-6 just opened pre-orders for a museum-quality Gorn figure, rubber suit wrinkles included. And here are some quick details. Replica maker EXO-6 began pre-orders on July 8th for a 12-inch, which is 31 centimeters, Gorn figure modeled on the original Arena episode suit. Price is $245 with a $45 non-refundable deposit. Orders will be accepted until July 28, 2025, and the first 300 units will be shipped by August 15. The rest will ship in the first quarter of 2026. This Gorn features 30 points of limited articulation to match the original costume, plus 6 hands, a thorny club, a rock dagger, and a belt-mounted translator, and of course, a mini bamboo cannon, because we cannot not have that one. So, if you're interested, go and check out EXO-6 website to get more details on this model. Now look, I get it. If a 12-inch lizard isn't enough, IDW has a new Lower Decks comic with a Tendi in a Ferengi trouble. So Lower Decks issue 9 puts our favorite Orion science officer, Tendi, in the spotlight with a Ferengi flavor twist. Writer Tim Sheridan and artist Vernon Smith have said each comic should feel like an episode you somehow missed. And it seems that they managed to nail that tone without requiring a recap marathon. It's a self-contained adventure, comfortably slotted between season 4 beats, so you can jump right in regardless of where you last left the Cerritos crew. What makes this issue stand out, and I'm gonna be spoiler-free, is how it digs deeper into Tendi's past while keeping the trademark Lower Decks humor. You should expect fast banter, bold artwork that practically hums with warp core energy and the kind of feel-good optimism that defines the series. If you did enjoy the show's mix of heartfelt character moments and chaotic comedy, this comic keeps that spirit alive on the page. Now, here's everything you need to know in one breezy breath. So the comic landed on July 9th, and is still plentiful both in shops and online. It's a 32-page full-color romp that's priced at $4.99 in US. It's written by, like I said, Tim Sheridan, and with punchy visuals from Vernon Smith, who also paints the main cover, while Jack Lawrence offers a variant bursting with classic Lower Decks chaos. So whether you snag the standard or the variant, or both if you're feeling collectorish, you can slide right in even if you skipped issues 7 and 8. This chapter stands tall on its own, and it neatly tees up issue 10 that's arriving in August. Why grab it now? Because IDW is on a summer hot streak, and Lower Decks continues to prove that Trek's future shines in every medium, on screen, in fan films, and definitely in comics. Now this issue really delivers that optimism that we all need. So, pack a copy of your sunscreen, toast to the Tendi's latest escapade, and stay hopeful, because if IDW's current run is any sign, Star Trek's next bright chapter is already on the horizon. And here comes the obligatory reminder that in September, IDW will be launching Voyager Homecoming series. What, you honestly thought I'm not going to talk about Voyager? Okay. Now, from paper comics in hand, let's jump to pixels. Star Trek Fleet Command just pushed its biggest update since 2023, Hazard Mining, Strange New Worlds officers, and a server-wide liberation event. Now, here's a 5-minute-ish briefing. So, Scopely flipped the switch on Update 80 this week, and for anyone who hasn't logged into Star Trek Fleet Command lately, or ever, this is the biggest shakeup since 2023. Even if you've never mined a single crystal in the game, stick around. The new Flashpoint arc borrows characters from Strange New Worlds and adds a few twists that might convince you to give this mobile MMO a look. So, let's set the stage. Fleet Command at its core is a free-to-play Star Trek sandbox where you build a base, collect ships, and hop between star systems to gather resources. Update 80, nicknamed Flashpoint, kicks off a 3-month story that mixes fresh missions with a brand new resource called Transogen. Think of it as an extra spicy ore. It only appears in a volatile border zone for players with operations level 35 and up. And each mining node can trigger something that's called revenge hostiles. In other words, NPC ships that ambush you while you mine. Occasionally, a storm called a tempest will roll through, adding environmental hazards, but the reward for braving that risk is a refined material that feeds top-tier research and building upgrades. So, if you enjoy a little adrenaline with your resource grind, Transogen delivers. In order to help you handle that grind, Scopely is handing out a Transogen Forge station module the moment you log in, so anyone at Ops 30 or higher can claim it for free. You can drop it into your base and you'll notice a small bump in ship's damage and mining speed. Level it up, and by Ops 45, you will unlock bonus systems where Transogen nodes spawn without those nasty hazards. It's a gentle way to introduce newcomers to a more dangerous style of mining while still rewarding veteran players who can't resist a spreadsheet level upgrade path. The headline content, of course, is the first Liberate World event chain. You should picture it like a multi-day community mission. Every server bands together to beat specific objectives, like destroying hostile ships, filing mining quotas, even tackling boss-level armadas, to push Klingon House Hurak out of contested sectors. If your server clears the chain early, you will unlock a side mission with some double rewards. It's kind of a straightforward carrot for teamwork, and even casual captains can chip in by mining or fighting a few regular hostiles during their lunch break. Update 80 also introduces 3 playable officers lifted from Strange New Worlds. So we'll be getting Scotty, who buffs energy damage while propping up your shields, T'Pring, whose calm logic translates to stronger defensive mitigation and bigger mining hauls, and a new Klingon-flavored newcomer, the Chalk, who boosts Transogen mining speed by a frankly ridiculous percentage. Officer cards in this game work like collectible trading cards. You will need to slot them on your bridge seats on your ship, and their abilities kick in immediately. So even if you're still flying a starter surveyor, adding any of these Strange New World faces can make daily chores less grindy. High-level whales, meanwhile, have a new toy to chase, which is USS Vengeance. Yes, the Section 31 interceptor from the Kelvin timeline. In game terms, it's the first legendary interceptor. It requires operation level 70 to build, and most players will only see it in someone else's battle log unless they rank high on a pricey blueprint letterboard. For you newcomers, it's more of a spectacle than a goal, but seeing one warp past your lower level ship is undeniably cool. Artifacts also get an expansion, including masterpieces like Spock's ritual gong and Pike's sextant. These essentially act as passive buffs while you level over time, adding permanent boosts to damage and occasionally handing out daily resource bundles, which are a nice quality of life perk that doesn't demand fantastic tapping. Now, speaking of quality of life, Scopely slipped in fixes that longtime players have begged for. Event pages that no longer freeze on older devices, revenge hostile icons finally show up on the main galaxy map, and the speed up pop-up remembers the last toggle you used instead of defaulting to the most expensive option. They're small tweaks, but they reduce friction for both veterans and anyone downloading the game fresh today. Looking ahead, Scopely confirms that Flashpoint will span at least 3-month arcs. More Liberate invasions are coming, and additional Strange New Worlds missions drop later in July. The first server to finish this week's Liberate chain will set reward tiers for everyone else. So, if you're curious, it's not bad to jump in and lend a hand. Worst case scenario, you learn which resource icons to avoid while mining. Now, bottom line, Update 80 folds modern Trek characters into Fleet Command and spices up the routine mining loop with hazards, teamwork events, and sprinkle of quality of life polish. Even if you're brand new to this game, the free station module and beginner-friendly objectives make this a smooth on-ramp. And hey, if you ever wanted to outmine a Ferengi while Scotty boosts your phasers, now's a chance. Now that we have that covered, tabletop captains, you're next. Modipius just opened pre-orders for Star Trek Adventures Exploration Guide. We're talking sector generators, secret values, and a double-sided star map. So, let's chart the details. Now, they have opened pre-orders for 144-page Star Trek Adventures 2nd Edition Exploration Guide. PDF is available now. Hardcover ships in October. Price is £35 or $48.50. Inside, you'll find 2 new career paths, 10 career events, 21 talents, awards and honors, sector and star system builders to create a sector in minutes, 9 planetary biomes and hazards, advantages, and story hooks. A secret values system for hidden character goals, a double-sided 23rd/25th century star map, compatible with 1st edition and solo captain's log rules. So, supplements like this widen Trek's storytelling sandbox. They let fans create stories that the shows never cover, keeping the universe fresh even between TV seasons. And why should you care? Because veterans who juggle multiple PDFs now get one consolidated reference. Newcomers can roll a few dice and have a playable sector in minutes. Either way, the exploration guide positions itself as the star chart you'll keep open on a second monitor or pinned to a corkboard during your next 5-year mission. Now, if you got Star Trek stories brewing, this might be the toolkit that turns them into warp speed adventures. And finally, for those who live in space docks, Star Trek Online's Timeless Legacy Bundle packs 3 Federation starships and 9 upgrade tokens into one discounted box. Now I've got the buy or skip verdict coming right up. A fresh ship bundle just hit the Star Trek Online. It's called the Timeless Legacy Bundle, and it launched on PC on July 8th, and it carries the 3 Federation-only starships, plus a handful of extras. Right now, it's 20% off, so it's 9,375 Zen instead of the usual 12,500 Zen. And it will be discounted until July 29th. Then consoles get the same offer on August 27th. You actually get 3 distinct ships, each with 3 visual skins that let you toggle between original series styling, a motion picture era refit, or sleek 25th century look. That alone will give Space Barbie fans plenty of room to mix and match. The Okinawa class pilot raider is the torpedo happy sprint car of a bunch. It has 5-1 weapon layout, pilot maneuvering, and turn rates that will make your initial dampener scream. The Proxima class Miracle Worker Science Dreadnought leans the other way. It's a hybrid science carrier with a hangar bay built right in, perfect if you love spawning pets and procs all over the map. And finally, we get Warden-class Temporal multi-mission cruiser that mixes tanky hull integrity with Chronicle tricks. Its console opens a temporal rift, while its built-in 360-degree phaser keeps arcs simple for newer captains. Beyond the hulls, you get a T6 ship coupon, 9 experimental upgrade tokens, 3 ship slots, 100 low-buy crystals, and some cosmetic unlocks including the 2282 cadet uniform and the orange 2271 EVA suit. And you also get a SETI Alpha 5 EEL kit module. Community impressions from everything I've seen are almost unanimous on design. Gorgeous, beautiful. Performance reviews, on the other hand, from creators you probably already know, like Stu1701, Spencer aka Casual SAB, and Captain Trizender, suggest none of the ships dethrone existing Miracle Worker or Temporal favorites. Now, casual players who don't chase DPS records will find them solid. So, should you skip or buy? Well, if you need versatile Federation ships, love the triple skin option, or can put those upgrade tokens to the immediate use, you might want to buy them. But if you already own some similar Miracle Worker or Temporal hulls, or only care about top tier DPS, the Phoenix event can actually handle your upgrade token needs, so you might want to skip this one. Personally, I'll cherry pick the hulls I like rather than buy the bundle. But if you are a newer captain or collector who lives for new skins, the Timeless Legacy sale window is officially open. Although I would recommend for you to wait 35% discount for this legacy, because this bundle doesn't have anything that you need right now. It doesn't have anything that is going to improve your gaming quality drastically. And like I said, if you don't own any ships, maybe, but still, last year's bundle I would recommend more than this year. Like if you want to buy 3 versatile ships, go for the last year ones. And I'm really sorry I didn't actually buy a bundle. I was buying ship by ship, because I wasn't sure about it, but I'm like 90% of the time I'm playing on one of those ships. So it has some great ideas, it has some interesting concepts, but I'm a little bit disappointed when it comes to the performance angle. Design angle, like I said, gorgeous and wonderful. And that wraps up this week's flight plan. From 90-second fan films to sector building toolkits, the message is clear. Star Trek's future is the playground. Whether you're coding an armada, rolling dice, or maybe displaying a detailed Gorn figure. If there's something we covered sparked your curiosity, drop a comment below. Your feedback is guiding my next journey. While you're there, hit like, share with a fellow Trekkie, and subscribe so you never miss one of our episodes. Next time, hopefully, we'll have fresh Trek stories on our long-range sensors. So stay tuned. Until then, Captains, stay curious like you, honorable like a Klingon, logical like a Vulcan, and never stop looking at the stars, because we're Trekkies, and that's what we do. See you next week.